The applause echoed through the grand ballroom just as the man standing alone near the entrance lowered his eyes, trying to hide the pain that had already broken his heart. Only minutes earlier, his own wife had looked at him with embarrassment, quietly distancing herself from him in front of wealthy guests because she believed he was nothing more than an ordinary maintenance worker who did not belong among successful people. She had no idea that before the night ended, every person in that luxurious hall would rise to their feet for the very man she had just humiliated. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, loyalty, and second chances still matter in today's world, please like this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Unfolded Story Hub channel so more inspiring stories can reach people who need them. Ethan Carter had never cared about expensive suits or luxury cars. At 42 years old, he believed that respect was earned through honesty, hard work, and humility. Years earlier, he had founded a technology company with a close friend, but after selling his daily management role, he quietly remained the majority owner while choosing to live a simple life. The fortune he had earned never changed the way he dressed or treated people. Instead of showing off wealth, he spent his time visiting company branches anonymously, helping employees solve problems, and funding scholarships for young students without revealing his name. Even his wife, Vanessa, believed Ethan had failed in business years ago and now worked as a maintenance consultant for different office buildings. Ethan never corrected that assumption because he wanted to know whether love could survive without the attraction of money. For several years, everything seemed peaceful, but success slowly changed Vanessa. She became fascinated with status, luxury brands, exclusive social circles, and the approval of wealthy strangers. She began measuring people by what they owned instead of who they were. When Vanessa received an invitation to an annual charity banquet attended by influential business leaders, she reluctantly allowed Ethan to accompany her. She worried that his modest navy blazer and simple shoes would make her appear less successful than the other guests. Throughout the evening she stayed several steps ahead of him, introducing herself confidently while pretending not to notice the quiet man following behind. Whenever someone asked who Ethan was, she casually described him as someone who helped with building maintenance and quickly changed the subject. Every word landed like another weight on Ethan's heart. He did not become angry. He simply realized that the woman he loved no longer saw the man he truly was. The painful truth was not that she underestimated his wealth, but that she underestimated his character. As elegant music filled the ballroom, the master of ceremonies suddenly announced that the mysterious owner of Carter Innovations would finally reveal himself publicly after years of avoiding the spotlight. Curious whispers spread across the room because almost nobody had ever seen the company's true owner. Vanessa smiled confidently, assuming another billionaire in a custom-tailored suit would soon appear. Then the host walked directly toward Ethan and respectfully invited him onto the stage. For a brief moment, complete silence replaced every conversation in the hall. Hundreds of surprised eyes followed the humble man as he calmly climbed the staircase. Vanessa felt the color disappear from her face. Her heartbeat quickened as she struggled to understand what she was witnessing. The giant screen behind the stage displayed photographs of schools, hospitals, disaster relief programs, and community projects funded by Carter Innovations. Every project carried Ethan's signature philosophy that success meant nothing unless it improved someone else's life. The audience listened with admiration as the chairman explained that Ethan had refused publicity for over a decade because he believed generosity should never become a performance. Instead of seeking headlines, he quietly invested millions of dollars into helping families rebuild their lives after disasters, paying medical bills for children, supporting veterans, and creating opportunities for people who had almost given up on life. The room erupted into thunderous applause as everyone stood to honor the man whose humility had remained invisible for so many years. Standing beneath the bright lights, Ethan accepted the award with the same calm expression he had worn while entering the ballroom. He thanked every employee who had built the company through dedication rather than titles. He spoke about kindness being more valuable than profit and reminded the audience that the greatest measure of success was how people treated those who could offer nothing in return. His words were simple, yet they reached every heart in the room. Many guests wiped away tears because they recognized how easily society confused wealth with worth. Ethan never mentioned Vanessa or the humiliation he had experienced only minutes before. Instead, he chose dignity over revenge, proving that true strength often speaks through grace rather than anger. Vanessa remained frozen in her chair, overwhelmed by regret. Every memory from the past several years replayed in her mind. She remembered criticizing Ethan's simple clothes, questioning his ambitions, comparing him with richer husbands, and feeling embarrassed whenever he chose kindness over appearances. Now she realized that while she had been chasing status, Ethan had quietly become the most respected person in the entire ballroom. His greatness had never depended on expensive watches or luxury cars. It had always lived in his compassion, integrity, and unwavering humility. For the first time in years, she saw not a man of hidden wealth, but a man of extraordinary character whom she had failed to appreciate. After the ceremony ended, influential executives eagerly surrounded Ethan, thanking him for changing countless lives through his charitable work. Investors requested meetings, journalists asked for interviews, and respected leaders praised his vision. Yet Ethan politely greeted every employee serving food, thanked the hotel staff by name, and smiled warmly at the cleaners preparing the ballroom for the next event. Those quiet gestures impressed the guests even more than the award itself. They understood that humility cannot be purchased. It is revealed by how someone treats people when no one is watching. Later that evening, Ethan stepped outside into the cool night air, leaving behind the glittering lights of the banquet hall. The city skyline shimmered in the distance as he reflected on everything that had happened. Although the applause had been loud, it could not erase the sadness of realizing how deeply his marriage had changed. Recognition from strangers felt insignificant compared to losing the respect of someone he loved. Success had never been his greatest achievement. Building a life based on trust had been his dream, and that dream now stood at a painful crossroads. Vanessa quietly followed him outside, her confidence replaced by tears of genuine remorse. She finally understood that the greatest mistake of her life had not been failing to recognize a wealthy businessman. It had been failing to recognize the extraordinary husband who had stood faithfully beside her through every season. Ethan listened with kindness, but he also understood that broken trust could not be repaired with one apology. Real change required time, honesty, and consistent actions. He chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, yet he also chose self-respect, knowing that love should never require someone to hide their true worth simply to be accepted. Before we reach the end, I have one heartfelt request. Please leave a comment below and tell us what mattered most to you in this story. Do you believe respect should depend on someone's character or their bank account? Your thoughts may inspire someone else who is struggling today. As Ethan walked toward the future, he carried no pride over the applause and no anger over the humiliation. He simply carried the quiet confidence that comes from living with integrity. Sometimes life allows people to judge us before they know our story, but character always reveals itself in time. The brightest success is not standing on a stage while strangers applaud. It is becoming the kind of person who remains humble whether the world notices or not. And if this story touched your heart, reminded you of someone you love, or inspired you to value people for who they are instead of what they own, please like, share, subscribe to the Unfolded Story Hub channel, and help spread more stories that remind the world kindness will always outshine wealth.